The majority of Wednesday is set in the town of Jericho and at the monster and outcast boarding school called Nevermore Academy. But first, the show transports us to Nancy Reagan High School before Wednesday is transferred to the school that her parents previously attended. Wednesday and her brother Pugsley, Isaac Ordonez, stand out from the crowd since they are members of the Addams family. As a result, Pugsley gets pushed into a locker and harassed by the water polo squad. Wednesday releases vicious piranhas into the high school pool as payback for the water polo team, believing she is the only one capable of torturing her brother. Wednesday, the team's captain, is expelled from her 8th school in 5 years after losing a testicle. Wednesday has repeatedly shown that she is unfit to attend a regular school, therefore Gomez, Luis Guzman and Morticia, Catherine Zeta-Jones made the decision to enroll their daughter at Nevermore Academy. Wednesday is keen to move away from her family and this new school, but Morticia and Gomez are sure she'll blend right in with the other freaks at Nevermore Academy. Evermore has, after all, provided a safe home for vampires, werewolves, sirens, gorgons, mediums, and everyone else society deems too strange to coexist with normal people since 1791. With a crystal ball that allows them to communicate with one another, they depart the boarding school on Wednesday. Additionally, Gomez requests that Thing, Victor Doroban, to observe Wednesday from the shadows and return home. Wednesday's first goal upon arriving to Nevermore Academy is to find new foes. Headmaster Larissa Weems, Gwendolyn Christie, who was her mother Morticia's roommate when they were adolescents, greets her family first. Although Larissa is kind and hospitable, we can't help but believe that Morticia and the headmaster don't get along. We can be certain that Larissa's resentment will be resolved in later episodes because Wednesday's first season delves deeply into the Addams family's history and mysteries. Speaking of roommates, Wednesday is forced to share a bedroom with a young werewolf named Enid Sinclair, Emma Myers, who adores happiness, cosmetics, and vibrant colors. Showing Wednesday about and introducing her to some of her new colleagues, including the Gorgon Ajax, Ajax Petropolis, the troubled artist Xavier Thorpe, Percy Hines White, and Queen Bee Siren Bianca Barkley, Joy Sunday, Enid is full of energy. Even if Wednesday's escape strategy can be strengthened by knowing more about Nevermore's microcosmos, the young goth makes it clear to Enid that she is not interested to be pals. Wednesday's dorm mother, Marilyn Thornhill, Christina Ritchie, is the final person she encounters on her first day. Marilyn enters the dorm room just as the Addams murderer swears to suffocate her roommate as she sleeps, and Enid is threatening to tear Wednesday apart with her werewolf claws. The typical boarding school experience, you know. Even if Marilyn's true identity and her job at Nevermore remain a mystery, it's wonderful to see Ritchie return to the Addams universe after portraying Wednesday in the 1990s. Wednesday's goal for the next day is to enrage the most powerful pupils in Nevermore. She therefore resolves to challenge the school's queen bee to a fight after witnessing Bianca harassing a student called Rowan, Callum Ross, during fencing class. Wednesday wins the opening point, and Bianca quickly evens the score. Wednesday offers some military regulations to liven things up: no masks, no points, and the first person to draw blood wins. Even though Wednesday is sure of her fencing prowess, Bianca is a formidable opponent. Following a violent fencing match, Bianca slices Wednesday's forehead, demonstrating her superiority and breaking the goth girl's ego. However, that wasn't the only blow delivered that Wednesday night. During her tenure at Nevermore Academy, she also starts to form new alliances, as much as it would pain Wednesday to confess. Initially, as Wednesday is furiously pacing the campus following her agonizing loss in fencing class, someone shoves a stone gargoyle toward her from the roof. She just makes it out alive thanks to Xavier pushing her out of the path of a crushing demise. Wednesday would have welcomed death as a friend, therefore she is first furious with Xavier. But Xavier admits that he's only making a payment on an old obligation. A few years before, the Addams family attended the burial of Xavier's grandma. The kids chose to play hide and seek on this particular day, and Xavier got locked inside her grandmother's coffin while hiding there. Wednesday heard Xavier tapping on the wood, but by then the casket was already into the cremation oven. Wednesday halted the machine and eventually saved Xavier, despite her claims to have no heart. By exchanging depressing tales, Wednesday and Enid also save some of their connection. It turns out that social hierarchy still exists in Nevermore, and attending an outcast school does not automatically make one an outcast. Enid is a werewolf who is limited to growing her claws. She is unable to completely change. and she might be expelled from her pack if she doesn't find a quick fix for her problem. Regarding Wednesday, she says the last time she shed a tear was when some bullies murdered her beloved scorpion, Nero, by holding her down and making her watch as they ran over the tiny arthropod with their motorcycles. But Wednesday made a pledge to herself that she would never cry again, since crying didn't make anything better. The horrific event, which occurred when she was just 6 years old, influenced her whole life. Once Wednesday realizes Thing is pursuing her in episode 1, she also reunites with former pals. If he doesn't swear loyalty to her, the girl says she'll lock his hand inside a drawer for the duration of the semester. Thing promises to assist her in leaving Nevermore after agreeing to her stipulations. In order to keep her attempted murder of the polo team off of her permanent record, Wednesday must attend required treatment sessions in the town of Jericho, where she finds her final ally. Wednesday takes advantage of the chance to flee via the bathroom window since she doesn't want to take treatment seriously. Headmaster Larissa watches Wednesday to make sure she doesn't miss her meeting, so she hides out at a neighborhood cafe where she runs across Tyler Galpin, Hunter Doohan. Tyler, a cafe employee, is having trouble troubleshooting an espresso machine. Wednesday offers to have the young guy take her to the train station in return for helping him with his equipment. After his shift, Tyler offers to give Wednesday a ride, making her wait for an hour. Wednesday is trapped by 3 teens dressed as pilgrims as she is waiting. They are extremely antagonistic toward the pupils of Nevermore and work in the nearby theme park Pilgrim World. Wednesday has a temper as well, and when things go out of control, she beats the 3 males into submission. Headmaster Larissa is alerted to the disturbance. Donovan Galpin, Jamie McShane, Tyler's father, and the sheriff of Jericho also show up to break up the fight. Subsequently, the sheriff names Wednesday's father a murderer after realizing Wednesday's name. Wednesday's attempt to flee is foiled, but she discovers the first clue to a significant family secret. In addition to teasing Adam's family secrets and establishing the Nevermore Academy, Wednesday's child is full of woe, highlights the main character's growing psychic abilities. Wednesday feels the ropes that the water polo team at Nancy Reagan High School used to tie her brother down, and she sees the squad. Wednesday also meets a fruit grower in Jericho, where he witnesses his demise. Later on in the day, Wednesday discovers she has some sort of future-seeing ability after witnessing the farmer's broken neck accident. Wednesday's powers are yet unknown, but it appears that they are related to the weird prophecy in the Addams family's shadowy background. And it all comes together in the second attempt at escape by the goth girl. Wednesday plans to go to the train station while the other Nevermore students are too busy, using a harvesting festival as a pretext. She uses Enid's computer to call her ally and sends Thing to Tyler's house with a phone number scrawled in his palm. They meet at the carnival after Tyler offers to help on Wednesday. As a farewell gift, Tyler also delivers Gomez Adams' old police file to help Wednesday comprehend why Sheriff Galpin despises her family so much. Wednesday and Tyler are ready to get into Tyler's car when the Pilgrim World crew, who have now been armed with baseball bats, attacks them. Wednesday makes off from their assailants with Tyler. Wednesday runs into Rowan when she's out. She witnesses Rowan being ripped to death by a creature with sharp claws, a flaming tree, and an odd book. Eager to warn Rowan of the horrible fate awaiting him, Wednesday pursues him into the woods. But Rowan pins Wednesday against a tree with his telekinetic abilities. The youngster displays a torn page from a book that features a girl that resembles Wednesday in the midst of flames. Rowan's mother, a strong seer who foresaw Wednesday's destruction of Nevermore and its pupils, wrote the book. Therefore, Rowan was ordered to kill the girl who was predicted if she ever visited the boarding school. Wednesday appears to be losing out, but then a nasty beast emerges from the woods, kills Rowan exactly as the girl had seen in her vision, and flees the scene. Following a thrilling evening, Wednesday discovers her father may be a killer. She is said to be the destruction of Nevermore in an old prophecy. In addition, a monster that is slaughtering innocent people in the woods is also prepared to save Wednesday. Wednesday chooses to stay at Nevermore since she has so many unanswered questions. Fortunately for us, this means we get to enjoy an entire season of an exciting Addams family mystery. Wednesday is able to unravel some of the mystery in Woe is the Loneliest Number, Episode 2, as she discovers troubling links between her family and the sordid past of Nevermore. Wednesday is able to participate in the Edgar Allan Poe Cup, an annual competition to determine which dorm school is the greatest, thanks to the series. Following Rowan's slaying in the forest, Wednesday faints and finds herself in Nevermore. The girl attempts to persuade Headmaster Weems, Gwendolyn Christie and Sheriff Galpin, Jamie McShane, that there is in fact a monster in the woods in the early hours of the morning. Ironically for her, Rowan's appearance in front of every person living validates the belief held by many that she is only attempting to cause mayhem.
Crush. Wednesday party. Have you considered your antisocial tendencies might be... And look, you made it through an entire...
You see Dr. Kimbot too?
Teenage terrorists. Everyone, including your father, believes I made it all up.
Or scowl. Howdy, Ruby. Why the change of heart? Not dead? I know. Other than being weird loners, the poke-up troops for no... Drum has to pick an Edgar Allan Poe short story for him. The social part, not so much.
Wednesday then starts looking into Rowan's background and the book that the youngster showed her just before he passed away. These are the only leads Wednesday has to uncover the truth behind the prophecy portraying her as the boarding school's destructor. Even though Wednesday is excited to play detective, she must participate in educational events because she is a student in a school. Weems has the girl select an extracurricular activity at the end of the day because of this. Wednesday asks her co-workers about Rowan's fate during a school tour, but episode 2 also provides further insight into what goes on in Nevermore. First, we find out that Joy Sunday's Bianca Barkley is a choir director. Xavier, on the other hand, lived with Rowan, is a member of an archery club, and had the ability to make his paintings come to life. Lastly, although promoting embracing monsters, Nevermore permits certain students, like Musa Mustafa's Eugene Oettinger, the creator of a beekeepers club, to become misfits. The entire school is fixated on the Poe Cup, which Bianca wins each year, during the events of Woe is the Loneliest Number. Every Nevermore dorm hall is forced to create teams for the tournament, which consists of rowing a boat to an island, running through the woods, grabbing a flag, and returning to the point of origin. Naturally, Enid Sinclair, Emma Myers, is thrilled over the occasion, but Wednesday first declines to go with her. But an inadvertent listening in makes her reconsider. Wednesday slips into the boys' room when searching for the book that Rowan tore the page out of. She finds out there that Xavier has been sketching her in his sketchbook. Additionally, Wednesday is made to hide beneath Rowan's bed when Bianca arrives to speak with her ex-boyfriend Xavier. They talk about how every year Bianca cheats to win by keeping the other team from ever making it through the course, and she boasts about it. Wednesday chooses to engage in anger and fury after joining Enid's side with the intention of publicly humiliating Bianca. Bianca submerses a friend of hers who is a siren so he can topple other boats on the day of the tournament. Luckily, Wednesday had put a net gun on her boat, anticipating the transfer. In order to pull Bianca's boat apart and win, her squad, the Black Cats, also added harpoons to the vessel. But before that, when Wednesday gets her team's flag back, she has another vision. Both flags are located in Joseph Craxton's tomb. Wednesday sees herself in white clothing and is told she is a link to something in an apparition that she experiences when she touches the stone.
You ever taken a honey bath? Would you like to see it?
Thanks. How'd you throw them off to play fetch?
Yeah, he doesn't tell me. What really happened the other night at the festival?
Proceeded to use...
To begin with, Weems' attempt to conceal Rowan's murder has come to light. This is due to Rowan being sent home and expelled right away after appearing in front of the entire school before he had a chance to speak with anybody. Wednesday assigns Thing to follow the lad all the way to the train station, as if this wasn't suspicious enough. Rowan goes into the bathroom there and disappears. We watch Rowan change into a guy, escape the restroom without being noticed, and then change into Weems when he is alone himself in a dimly lit hallway. Thing is unaware of what transpired. It appears that the headmaster of Nevermore is a shapeshifter who is keeping information about the creature in the woods a secret. Wednesday discovers in Woe is the Loneliest Number that the page she stole from Rowan has a watermark in the corner that features an image of a flower with a skull in the center. Wednesday, exploring the library for the purple book she continues to see in her dreams, learns from Marilyn Thornhill, Christina Ricci, that the book symbolizes the Nightshades, an extinct secret student organization. We also find out throughout the confrontation that Marilyn is the only human in Nevermore without superpowers, a normie.
Yes. Would it kill you to not... You're the one who was afraid he would do something. What do you see in her? Good enough.
Okay, why are you so fixated on Wednesday?
We could cook an hour to remember.
Yeah, I hate to think
I used to love my killer instinct.
She had a major allergic reaction.
We are given further crumbs to pursue in episode 2. For example, Wednesday discovers an odd mask in a hidden space beneath Rowan's bed. She finds Rowan's spectacles while investigating the woods with Hunter Doohan's character Tyler Galpin. In that vision, the youngster argues with Xavier over Wednesday. The crucial hints, though, are revealed at the conclusion of the episode when Wednesday finds the door to the former Nightshades headquarters. Wednesday discovers the Nightshades insignia etched on a statue of Edgar Allan Poe clutching a book during the Poe Cup celebration. Wednesday rapidly cracks 9 of the book's puzzles in the middle of the night. Wednesday receives the directive to snap twice after reading the initial letter of each of the 8 answers. That's certainly something we all understand. Wednesday managed to get the iconic snap song from the Addams Family into the story. She snaps her fingers twice while standing in front of the statue, causing the stone to collapse and reveal a stairway that descends. Wednesday discovers she is in a hidden library as she walks into the Nightshades headquarters. The girl discovers the book there that she is searching for. She additionally sees images of her parents and other former members of the secret group.
Hidden libraries. Luckily, you were the...
The final 2 teams are the go.
We did it! This is the greatest moment.
Values that all outcasts on the mantle after all these.
What do you want to hang out later? Oh, come.
It's good to see you fitting in. Really a hall won the Poe Cup.
Nevermore. The answer is staring you right in the face. Your penchant for riddles was legend. Sun. A world which leaves weep to the ground. Willow. It melts.
Before she is able to put everything in tandem, nonetheless, someone covers her head with a black hood. Wednesday had previously revealed a secret and we're eager to find out what happens next.
Wrists Tonka. High school clowns.
Wait, I preferred... Artists in the bunch.
The Nightshades are
She makes a killer virgin mojito.
Lost its charter 30 years ago after
last semester.
I said
Waves. She's a tsunami.
Just because
Untie her.
I have a black eye. It's amateurs like you who give threads to my investigation. I could weave a bit now. Nothing intrigues me more than this box with a pilgrim.
Followed by a community lunch at Memorial Statue in the town square. Your best face forward.
Yes! I got Pilgrim Robe. This is weird, creepy antiques.
When impressive. Somebody?
as long as you...
blank last outreach day.
I have more pressing issues on my mind.
Head back. I just figured he wanted to
I'm not gonna stop. You've seen it before, haven't you?
pull it after we kicked him out of the night. Crackstone. It's like Jericho's.
Yeah. Remember my son Lucas?
You got it. Have him.
Still got something left.
Parks. Even your mayor, I used to wear that badge, remember?
Especially if your business is Pilgrim World.
We have a special announcement.
Community, we are so pleased.
Okay, everyone, we'll...
Enid.
But Wednesday, this is not a fair trade if you're not interested.
No!
Hey, Wednesday.
I am Mistress Arlene, of the year of our Lord, sixth founder, Joseph Crackstone.
House. Which of Joseph Crackstone's are here to work in there?
Pray no. Blood of our humble community.
See the tire treads across its tail?
Got a whole section dedicated to these beauties. Too cute. You two want to make
Coffee break. Right?
I'm brewing chaga.
The mystery behind Wednesday Addams' Jenna Ortega destiny is about to come to light. A few things are made clear in the third episode of the Netflix series, notably Wednesday's relationship to the Craxton crypt. In this episode, we also get to see the enigmatic creature that is afflicting the town of Jericho once more. The story picks more steam in Friend or Woe, as it delves further into the relationship between Wednesday and the racist, colonial pilgrim Joseph Craxton. I adore how the show, and specifically our heroine, calls out our senseless adoration for the pilgrims right away, even after they perpetrated horrific, terrible atrocities against the Native American population who had already settled in America. I could have done without as much emphasis on the love storyline. Without Wednesday, it's difficult to stay interested in any scene at this stage in the season. But I do find Marilyn Thornhill and Larissa Weems fascinating. Clearly, there is more to them than first meets the eye. We're definitely moving in the right direction because this excursion is better than episode 2. The story continues where we left off, with Wednesday, Jenna Ortega being hit over the head with a bag. Eventually, masked people are all around her. It appears that the nightshades aren't quite as gone as Marilyn had stated. Xavier, Percy Hines White, Yoko, Naomi J. Ogawa, Ajax, Georgie Farmer, and Bianca, Joy Sunday are a few of the members. Rowan was expelled from the nightshades, we find out. Xavier insists that Bianca grant Wednesday's request to join the gang. But this isn't the type of gathering she likes. She walks off. To be honest, this revelation disappointed me and ended far too soon. Next, we witness Principal Larissa Weems, played by Gwendolyn Christie, declaring the annual Outreach Day, in which students from Nevermore interact with Jericho's normies by working side by side with them at their businesses. As soon as the joke about putting on their best face is said, the camera jumps to two faceless kids. Do you understand? It is as a result of their lack of faces. Larissa discloses that on Wednesday, she offered her services as a cellist for the Jericho High School marching band. Still, can she play Fleetwood Mac? For the outreach celebrations, our students come to town later. On Wednesday, Rowan's mother's drawing is shown to Xavier. Joseph Craxton, the founder of Jericho, is the pilgrim he reveals she is standing next to. Yes, and he still thinks Rowan could still be alive. Let us examine that further. Jimmy Earl Jenkins plays Noble Walker, the mayor of Jericho, while Jamie McShane plays Sheriff Galpin. The sheriff is given an order to locate the bear that is tormenting and killing residents of Jericho. Interesting fact, our goth gal has successfully fought off bullies in fight, including Mayor Walker's kid. Wednesday then convinces Enid, Emma Myers, to accompany her to a different Outreach Day location. Now, as Ajax and Enid volunteer at the Erie Antique Store, our main character will face Pilgrim World. Because she is holding a flame for Ajax, Enid is ecstatic. Wednesday gets back together with Eugene, Musa Mustafa and the others as they are guided by Arlene, Lisa O'Hare through the ins and outs of Pilgrim World. Wednesday wants to learn more about Joseph Craxton and identify how she is related to him. Arlene keeps a close check on the kids while Eugene, Bianca, and Wednesday sell fudge, but Enid and Ajax are quite uneasy about the antique taxidermy store. Connie Jorgensen, the owner, Sophia Nomvete, Dissa in The Lord of the Rings of Power, urges the two to tidy up the tangles on the lovely finery of the taxidermied rats. Okay, I'll pass on it. Then, Wednesday discusses the brutal, murderous past of Joseph Craxton and Jericho with what appear to be German visitors. She makes reference to the heinous racist colonists who massacred and pillaged indigenous people. Sure, dear, Wednesday from the 90s would do this. I agree. Because our titular hero turned away potential clients, Arlene isn't a fan. In the pilot, Eugene encounters the three bullies from the coffee shop. He gets made fun of for consuming fudge. He pukes fudge all over the ringleader, at which point they lock him in the stockade. Fortunately, Wednesday steps in to save the day, rescuing Eugene and skillfully putting the bullies in their place. While Larissa and Mayor Walker are conversing at the Weathervane Cafe, Marilyn, Christina Ricci hears that the principal of Nevermore made a sizable contribution to the mayor's campaign. Marilyn is advised by Larissa to keep a watch on Wednesday, also known as the pigtailed upstart. In relation to that, our girl cleans up Eugene and says he makes her think of Pugsley. Without disgust, that is. Although Eugene admits he doesn't have any pals, it appears he does now thanks to Wednesday. This is really adorable. Wednesday needs help breaking into the Joseph Craxton Museum so she may examine the items, so Eugene assists. She discovers a fascinating book on Etsy that is, regrettably, a prop. She is caught by Arlene, who chastises both her and Eugene. Wednesday finds out that Joseph met someone else in another building someplace in the woods. That is, the crumbling remnants. While at the antique store, Enid skirts the romantic subject. Enid tells Ajax straight up that she wants to go on a date after he keeps missing the obvious cues. She is asked by Ajax, "It's time to head to Date City." To be completely honest, I could have done without this side story. It seems a bit dull and overdone to me. Wednesday and Xavier reconvene in the coffee shop later. To Xavier's dismay, the latter discloses that she is there to speak with Tyler. She is cautioned by Xavier not to hang out with Tyler once again. What kind of grudge these two guys still have? Wednesday queries Tyler, Hunter Doohan on Joseph Craxton's property as he comes out. He is cautious, telling her about the junkies and drifters that live there on a daily basis. Then, while visiting the rundown structure in the woods, Wednesday and Thing encounter a homeless guy. The homeless man is drawn away by Thing, and our goth girl investigates her surroundings. Wednesday suddenly and unpredictably has a vision. She goes 400 years back in time this time. We see the blonde girl she saw in her vision from the previous episode, the one dressed like Wednesday. Compared to the little child in front of him, Joseph Craxton, William Houston is a fearsome person who towers above Goody Adams. Wednesday's ancestor must have been Goody. Goody is accused of witchcraft by Joseph, who also sentences her to death in a barn full of other accused people, including her mother. Everybody is confined. Joseph starts a fire in the barn. Goody makes fruitless attempts to get her mother free. Goody leaves via a trap door when her mother pushes her to do so. Wednesday joins them in the barn to witness this. Subsequently, Goody approaches Wednesday and asserts that Joseph won't stop his mission until he has eliminated them all. Joseph exclaims with excitement that our heroine will not be able to flee. Wednesday's extended vision ends abruptly, and she awakens. She tells Thing what she's seen. But before they can go too far into that, they see the monster's eye from the pilot. Wednesday's feature is followed by rain. She sees the footprints change from those of a beast to those of a man. Interesting. When Xavier finds her in the rain, they talk about what she's discovered. Xavier thinks Wednesday is correct when she says that something is wrong with Rowan. They discuss Wednesday's developing psychic powers. Victor Thorpe, Xavier's well-known father, is a psychic as well. Wednesday is advised by him not to rely just on what she observes. Emotions, not reason, is the foundation of visions. Subsequently, everyone gets together in the town square to witness the inauguration of a brand new statue honoring Joseph Craxton. The mayor and Larissa declare the statue as Wednesday performs an instrumental rendition of Fleetwood Mac's "Don't Stop" with the Jericho Marching Band. The effigy is then started to burn by Thing. Wednesday plays Vivaldi's "Winter" on the cello, causing the bronze Joseph Craxton to burst into flames. Both misfits and normies may be seen fleeing to the hills. It's a fairly amazing way to take a jab at a colonizer. Later, despite Wednesday's insistence that her hands are clean, Larissa scolds our child, tearing into Wednesday. In theory, there was just one hand at work. Wednesday chastises Larissa for denying the violent, racial facts that laid the foundation for Jericho. Larissa says she's keeping a close eye on Wednesday but doesn't have enough proof to link the burning to our main character. Enid gets ready for her date with Ajax, Marilyn too snaps her way into the Nightshade's hidden hideout, and Eugene noshes around the yard. Whoa, what is she concealing these days? While taking a shower, Ajax unintentionally turns himself into stone because the towel he was using to cover the mirror dropped and he saw his image. However, a Gorgon's ability to change stone is only momentary. I must admit that I laughed a little at this incident. Enid feels that Ajax has betrayed her. Larissa tosses into the flames a yearbook page with Morticia on it. She hates Morticia, which is why she hates Wednesday. Dr. Valerie Canbot, portrayed by Riki Lindholm, sews clothing for preserved animals in order to satisfy her odd preferences. Tyler cries while lying at the bottom of a full bathtub, and Xavier appears from a barn with strange scratches on his neck. Is he the monster, perhaps? Or was it in contact with him? The homeless guy is discovered dead when Sheriff Galpin and his team arrive at the rundown woodland ruins. He was slain by the beast. They find video on his camera that could identify the offender. The last few minutes of Friend or Woe, exquisitely matched by that stunning apocalyptica rendition of Metallica's Nothing Else Matters, laid the groundwork for an exciting, captivating next chapter in this story's development.
The sheriff thinks they only exist behind monsters everywhere. They're the most dangerous. Shadows until no one is looking. But I'm looking now. I need to open my mind to new people.
Season 4, Episode 1, Part 2. Wednesday and Thing, Victor Doroban to obtain entry into the coroner's office to inspect the body of the monster's newest victim in Episode 4. They are almost apprehended by the coroner and Sheriff Galpin, Jamie McShane, who also decide to pay a late visit to the morgue in order to expedite the police inquiry. Nonetheless, the excursion is successful, as Wednesday learns more about the monster. While the monster's beast form mauls and consumes its victims, its human form appears to be a serial murderer. That's because the creature used a saw to sever two of the homeless man's toes as if it were collecting trophies. In reality, all previous victims had missing organs or bodily parts. In summary, the monster's assaults might be methodically planned by a killer who can shapeshift into a beast rather than random. Wednesday has grown skeptical of Xavier, Percy Hines White, the troubled painter who can bring his paintings to life, following the events of Episode 3. Not only did Xavier emerge immediately next to the last monster apparition, but he is now attempting to conceal some unsightly claw marks on his neck. Wednesday, determined to learn the truth, pursues Xavier to a shed in the woods that he meticulously keeps shut. And it turns out that Xavier has a purpose for the secrecy, since the shed is packed with paintings and drawings of the creature. That is sufficient proof for Wednesday, who seizes a few of drawings and takes them to the sheriff. As Wednesday leaves the building, she runs into Xavier, who questions her presence. Following an embarrassing meeting, Wednesday is compelled to persuade Xavier to accompany her to the Raven in order to hide her tracks. Xavier is overjoyed at the offer, making it very evident that he adores the goth girl. Wednesday suggests that she and the sheriff team up to apprehend the monster in the police station. Galpin is first skeptical that he needs the assistance of a youngster, but when Wednesday shows him the monster's drawings, the sheriff recognizes there's some benefit to having a set of eyes within Nevermore. As a result, he requests that Wednesday uncover hard proof if she wishes to work with him. The first piece of evidence is based on one of Xavier's drawings. Eugene, Musa Mustafa recognizes some enigmatic circles in the artwork as the entrance to a nearby cave. The two beekeeping buddies go to the cave and discover a tremendous quantity of animal bones. They also discover a pair of shackles attached to the stone wall within the cave, possibly as an early attempt by the monster to curb its violent instincts. More significantly, Wednesday discovers a claw with which she can do a DNA test. Wednesday returns to the boy's shed, collecting a tissue he used to wipe his neck wound, which is now saturated in blood, to obtain a sample of Xavier's DNA and match it to the claw. This time, Xavier discovers Wednesday inside the shed, understanding she had been chasing him the entire time and had only used the Raven invitation as a cover. As he describes, he has been plagued by nightmares of the monster and has been processing the imagery via his paintings. One of the pictures had accidentally come to life the night before, clawing Xavier's neck. Even though his narrative makes sense, Wednesday keeps Xavier's blood sample. Wednesday's dishonesty has clearly shattered the boy's heart, and we can even see some sorrow in Wednesday's eyes at that point. After all, the most cruel of the members of the Addams family may have a heart. Wednesday, attempting to suppress her emotions as much as possible, sends the claw and the blood sample to the sheriff, promising to explain everything once the findings are in. Because neither Emily nor Eugene has a date for the Raven, they plan to stalk the cave at night in order to capture the monster and reveal his name. Unfortunately for Wednesday, fate has a habit of forcing her to make emotional attachments. Wednesday appears to be the lone student that is unconcerned about the Raven in Episode 3. Everyone else is off on a date, looking for a dress, or assisting with the decor. So, as predicted, Enid, Emma Myers is overjoyed when she learns Wednesday has been invited to the ball with Xavier. Naturally, Enid wants to buy a dress for Wednesday and goes shopping with her roommate in Jericho. While Wednesday simply wants to talk to the sheriff, she does take a few moments to admire a spooky and eccentric black frock in Uriah's heat. During her stay to Jericho, Wednesday meets Tyler, Hunter Doohan, who suggests they go to the Raven together. Wednesday confesses her decision to travel with Xavier, and while she emphasizes that she had no option, Tyler is still devastated. As the kid tells her, he feels they have a bond and hopes they can become closer. Thing is there throughout the event, lurking in Wednesday's rucksack. So, as soon as Xavier is gone, Thing sends a letter pretending to be Wednesday inviting Tyler to the Raven. When the Raven arrives, Wednesday is prepared to go monster hunting in the woods with Eugene. Tyler instead knocks on her dorm door, stating he was moved by her passionate message. Wednesday is annoyed with Thing for making her go on a date, but she is also eager. And when Thing admits that he took the frock she adored from Uriah's heap, Wednesday appears to be in the mood for a romantic evening. The Raven goes off without a hitch, with the normal amount of drama that every teenage gathering has. Nonetheless, the event allows us to discover more about the series' major actors. For starts, Headmaster Weems, Gwendolyn Christie dislikes the Raven since her infatuation, Morticia, Catherine Zeta-Jones, brought another girl to the event while she was a student at Nevermore. That instance, Weems dislikes Morticia and Wednesday because she fell in love with Gomez, Luis Guzman, and believes Morticia cheated her on their relationship. Tyler used to hang around with Lucas, Iman Marson, and the other Jericho bullies, we discover. Tyler, in fact, helped vandalize a painting Xavier did in Jericho, which is why they appear to have a past. Tyler was also forced to attend treatment as a result of his behavior. While Wednesday seems willing to forgive Tyler for his prank, we may not hear the last of this. There is a distinction between pranking someone and bullying misfits. Finally, Bianca, Joy Sunday takes a sad Xavier to the ball in an attempt to rekindle her relationship with her ex-boyfriend. However, when Xavier begs Bianca to use her seductive voice to distract him from Wednesday, she becomes enraged and ditches him on the spot. The Raven goes smoothly, and everyone has a nice time until the finale, which is gory. In episode 3, Ajax, Georgie Farmer is ashamed to inform Enid that he stoned himself with a mirror, so the girl believes he purposefully skipped their date. As a result, Enid decides to visit the Raven with Lucas, the leader of Jericho's bullies. Lucas assures Enid that he would assist her in making Ajax jealous, but the child intends to assist his buddies in putting red paint in Nevermore's pipes, pulling the fire alarm, and allowing the sprinklers to wash the outcasts in crimson. Unfortunately for Lucas, he forms a friendship with Enid and realizes that misfits are humans just like everyone else. There may be atonement for the bully, but because of peer pressure, he continues to be a bigot and carry out his plan. On the bright side, when the celebration is wrecked, Ajax apologizes to Enid and they kiss under the stars. Wednesday's evening ends with tragedy. Eugene felt abandoned when Wednesday opted to go to the party with Tyler and decided to stake out the cave by himself. While waiting for the monster, Eugene notices a guy driving up to the cave and throwing a Molotov cocktail inside. Eugene is soon pursued by the creature. Eugene is in peril, according to Wednesday's vision. Unfortunately, it is too late for her to save him. The monster mauls Eugene, and while the credits roll before we can learn if he's alive, Wednesday gets another vision of Eugene being assaulted by the monster. She hurries to the woods in an attempt to save him, but she is too late. Wednesday, Jenna Ortega is shown at the beginning leafing through her father's police file. A stormy night 32 years ago, on the Nevermore courtyard, young Larissa Weems, Oliver Wickham discovers a dead corpse. Holding a sword, young Gomez, Lucius Hoyos stands on some scaffolding. He has blood all over him. While teenage Morticia, Gwen Jones admits she has never been more in love with him than she was seeing him get handcuffed for murder, we witness the cops transport Gomez away. Here we are at Parents' Weekend in Nevermore, in the present. As usual, Pugsley, Isaac Ordonez, Lurch, George Berkier, Gomez, Luis Guzman, and Morticia, Catherine Zeta-Jones arrive in luxury. For all of the visiting families and their pupils, Larissa, played by Gwendolyn Christie, gives a speech. Emma Myers' character Enid bemoans the arrival of her werewolf family, while Wednesday observes her strange and bizarre tribe from a distance. As expected, Enid's mother chastises her daughter right away, primarily for not using her lycanthrope powers. Gomez and Morticia interrogate their daughter over her stay in Nevermore. Bianca, Joy Sunday, receives an apology from Xavier, Percy Hines White, for attempting to seduce him with her seductive song. Bianca is hoping her mom won't arrive. Unfortunately, she is not granted her request. Gracie Goldman's character Gabrielle appears. Later, Morticia looks at Larissa's yearbook and remembers all the good times. Do you recall when Larissa and Morticia put on a talent show performance, and Larissa did an impeccable rendition of Judy Garland? It occurs to Morticia that her picture is absent. Larissa ripped it out, which is why. The Addams crew is told by Larissa that Wednesday's therapist has requested that they come to a group session. The Addams consent to being raped. Gomez enjoys a nice shrug of the head. Jamie McShane's character, Sheriff Galpin, is in the coffee shop and is on the phone, inquiring about the results of the monster's claw DNA test. He notices the approach of the distinctive Black Addams family vehicle. Hunter Doohan's character Tyler observes that Wednesday's family is involved in her rehabilitation, at least in part. Subsequently, the sheriff receives a call concerning the suicide of Dr. Anwar, the medical examiner. The Addams family then has a group chat with Dr. Valerie Kinbott, Riki Lindholm. Pugsley nibbles on sachets. To be honest, at first I assumed those were apple chips. Wednesday then informs her mother that she intends to find out whether she has her mother's backing. At the coffee shop, Bianca meets Gabrielle, who discloses her true motive for being in the city. The morning song, Cult, is led by Gabrielle. It's her last siren song. She got married to Gideon, a man Bianca hates, and they both hope Bianca, who changed her identity when she got to Nevermore, will return soon. Wednesday pays a hospital visit to Eugene, Musa Mustafa. Eugene is in the intensive care unit, ICU, in a coma, despite Larissa's assurances to the parents during Parents' Weekend that he is on the mend. Our goth girl accuses herself of being the reason Eugene was attacked by the Hyde monster. When Eugene's mom stopped by to say hello, they express gratitude to Wednesday for her friendship. Galpin gets the details from Deputy Richie Santiago, Luyanda Unati Louis Nyewo. Sadly, it's blurry because someone stuck black gum on the camera. Wednesday then observes as Morticia places a crimson rose on Garrett's tomb. Sheriff Galpin storms into the school courtyard during the celebrations, where everyone is dining, in order to arrest Gomez. Thing and Wednesday go to her father's prison. She insists on knowing the reality. Wednesday gives her father credit for being honest. He raised her well, she thinks. She is a confident, self-reliant thinker. Oh my, this is probably the closest we will go to our main character showing vulnerability. Enid's mother gives her pamphlets about a summer camp for lycanthrope conversion in the meantime. Enid, of course, objects to this. However, it's in the rural Balkans. Her mother must embrace her for who she truly is. On Wednesday, Pugsley is spotted relaxing on a dock next to a pond. She tells her brother that their father is not guilty. Someone is attempting to discredit her and frame the family. Our daughter swears she will show Gomez is innocent. But first, it's time to use that ageless tool, a hand grenade, to go fishing. Afterwards, Morticia is seen waiting for the nightshades to gather. This is such an amazing first picture of her. Her attire is a perfect match for the surroundings. The truth about what really happened that fateful night is revealed by Morticia. Morticia watched as Gomez struggled to keep Garrett at bay, the latter foaming at the lips with pure wrath. Wednesday excavates Garrett's grave in search of proof, and Morticia remembers the first grave digging kit they purchased for our main character when he was a young boy. They mature so quickly. The two are apprehended by the deputy. Beside Gomez, we witness them being put into a cell. Wednesday displays to her parents the item she discovered in Garrett's tomb, a finger with a nightshade-colored hue. Morticia stabbed Garrett as he was already dead. He was poisoned by nightshade. Our heroine suddenly had a vision. She watches as Garrett's father gives the order to use nightshade to poison everyone at Nevermore. A second time, all accusations against Gomez are withdrawn. Gomez receives an apology even from Sheriff Galpin, and they exchange handshakes. The best goth family gets back together. Enid, in the meantime, orders her mother to accept her for who she is after taking a stance against her. When the moment is right, she will wolf out. Only when the school year is over does Bianca consent to accompany Gabrielle home. Wednesday says her family goodbye. She even has a touching, heartfelt moment with her mother. Our girl is developing. Morticia empowers her daughter to choose her own route in life. She won't ever linger in Morticia's background. Following her examination of Larissa's yearbook, Wednesday approaches her principal. For Nevermore's talent performance, Larissa did more than merely mimic Judy Garland, she actually became Judy Garland. The main character thinks Larissa has shape-shifted. The day following his murder, she changed into Rowan to make everyone believe everything was normal. I was accurate. According to Larissa, she tried her best to protect the school from controversy. Wednesday queries the shape-shifting principal about Eugene's safety. Larissa and Wednesday hear screaming and yelling from outside. On the schoolyard, they discover the text, "Fire will rain," scrawled in flames. Wednesday is more powerful when her family is around, even though she can hold her own. In any case, the episode offers a light-hearted reflection on the nuanced nature of mother-daughter relationships.
I can barely tolerate the living. The sooner I master that.
Contact a relative.
My entreaties.
Oh, after all.
No. Childhood.
Surprise! Birthday, dear!
What part of
Why don't you make a wish?
when I rise?
Okay, that's
We're never eating that cake, are we?
Wednesday. To stop Crackstone, these places everyone. You end up alone, unable to
Fun, twisting discoveries for our titular goth
can
lady
barely
and her
tolerate the
companions
living.
await them in
The
episode
sooner I
6.
master that.
Quid Pro Quo delves deeply into Wednesday's interpersonal interactions and displays
Contact
of
a relative.
affection. In the
My
first
entreaties.
scene, Wednesday, General
after all.
Ortega conducts a séance in an attempt to speak with her ancestor, Goody Adams. As you may remember,
No.
Morticia asserted in the last episode that a psychic might learn how to use their gifts
Childhood.
exclusively from the dead. So our heroine asks Goody to help her with it. Wednesday loses focus
Prefer to
when
be
Enid,
vilified.
Emma Myers waltzes into their
Subterfuge
room.
was impressive.
As they converse, a note card is slipped under their door by an enigmatic individual.
presents.
It states that our goth girl has to visit Joseph Craxton's crypt at midnight in order to get answers. When our roommates later get to the crypt, they discover that Xavier, Percy Hines White and the others are carrying birthday cakes. Wednesday is having a surprise birthday celebration.
I showed up too
The
surprised. Change your
orchestrators
mind,
of the
you want my
party
help,
sing to
you
her
know
and
I'm
give her a
fine.
cake that tastes ominously good.
Where'd you get
Wednesday
that?
is obviously not
I had
amused.
to get my act
She is
together.
distracted by some
Yeah.
Latin phrases written on
And she-
Craxton's crypt wall.
Delete that app.
The same as
Can
it
I
did on the
conflict until
schoolyard,
I'm done?
it declares, "Fire will rain." An additional clause reads, "I will rise."
What's not to like
Not
about
good.
that?
Another vision is shown to our protagonist.
cake.
When she gets back together, Goody calls her the Raven. Morticia's
haven't
kid
seen
is
you
a
since our
raven
session with
because
your
of her
band. She
dark
took
and
my father out of
macabre
prison.
visions, whereas Morticia is a dove, since her visions are often
Sounds like she
positive.
doesn't see you for who you
Though
remember by your
Goody couldn't
friend's
assist
bedside,
her in
feeling some
developing her
mud.
psychic abilities, she can guide Wednesday in the right direction.
A couple days ago.
She has to investigate the crumbling mansion that stands in front of them. It has the answers she's
Come on, don't
looking
feel like you
for. The next day, Thing takes out Gomez and Morticia's birthday present. It's a taxidermy kit complete with squirrel corpses. Wednesday receives a black snood from Enid,
tell me you've
which
been
is a
out there
hybrid
digging
of a
up
hood
sin.
and scarf. She built one for herself as well. In the
little shaky.
meantime, Principal Larissa Weems, Gwendolyn Christie and Mayor
You know where
Walker,
this is.
Tommy Earl Jenkins discuss the latest developments in the Hyde monster murder
Forget about you, but
investigation.
I couldn't.
Walker wants to find out who injured Eugene. Larissa becomes enraged as he accuses
Bianca,
Nevermore
right?
in an overt manner. She reminds him that she has
No
the
problem.
right to withdraw her generosity at any time. Next,
Wanted someone to
Xavier
talk
observes
about.
Wednesday as she studies the "Fire will rain" sign on the schoolyard.
As I needed to
He
wipe the
attended
board
her
down.
surprise birthday celebration, but she tells him that they still don't get along. She continues to consider him a suspect in the current inquiry. Joy Sunday's character Bianca meets Lucas, Iman
It's a long
Marson,
shot,
the
so
mayor's
much.
son, doing a community service term at Nevermore as a result of his participation in the Raven dance scam. The morning song bracelet catches Bianca's eye on his wrist. He says that Gabrielle,
license
Bianca's
plates.
mother,
Yeah,
approached
what were
him
you
in the
doing?
coffee shop and
House
inquired
hunting.
about a self-help
Series
software.
Cases that he
Bianca
they
tells
were
him
onto
to avoid morning song. He invites her to meet with him at the coffee shop so they can talk about self-improvement advice. Wednesday later pays Eugene, who remains unconscious, a visit. She regales him with a detailed account of her previous birthdays and her enjoyment of them.
I don't need your help. or
Bringing
your
flowers, Dr. Valerie Canbot, Riki Lindholm walks into the room.
dinner.
She tells Wednesday that she promised Eugene's mothers to watch after him.
I can't deal with this
Mayor
right now.
Walker, meantime, gets a file on Garrett's sister, Laurel
Response to your
Gates.
surprise soiree.
Wednesday
They
and
read you.
Tyler, Hunter Doohan converse. It's
How
her
would I say?
birthday,
I'm about to-
and he wants
you
to
know what
take
to do,
her
right?
out to supper.
Dancing.
Our goth
Actually,
gal
you left
gives
yours
him
at
the
the
cold shoulder, as usual. He approaches her to discuss it, inquiring as to whether he went too far. Hey, she may not say it directly, but I believe she has very clear boundaries when it comes to her physique at least. She is concentrating on other
place is
things.
creepy AF.
Jamie McShane as
Why
Sheriff
do
Galpin
this?
walks into the store. Wednesday tells him what she discovered in Craxton's tomb. In essence, he urges her to give up on the case. Xavier shows out his sketch of the same spot, indicating that
So
he
you can
has
take
been
me back
having
to
similar
Nevermore
odd
and give me
dreams. The Gates family once owned the walled house. Thing displays
Here
a
they
large
are.
picture that Xavier made of
long
Wednesday,
gone.
her cello in
So the
play.
question-
He acknowledges that he used it as a way to block out her presence. The girl in the image plays the cello with a quick movement of his hand. It is
More seating
lovely,
for a year
but
long.
our heroine runs away, maybe because she feels
Still
embarrassed. Bianca and Lucas meet in the coffee shop in the interim.
You
They
go
talk
left,
about
I go
how they
right.
feel like misfits in their own worlds. See, even an outsider and a normie can get along. I adore how these characters' weaknesses are being revealed as we're removing layers from them. They all experience othering in various ways. Wednesday makes a statement to the sheriff in which she says she went into Walker's car's rear to find out more of what he had to tell Galpin. Larissa at Nevermore places the entire school under lockdown in the wake of Walker's assault. She takes away Wednesday's outdoor privileges as a kind of punishment. The penalty for another offense is expulsion. On Wednesday, Christina Ricci plays Marilyn Thornhill, who brings a copy of Frankenstein.
You, wasn't it?
Marilyn inquires as to whether our daring author has made any headway on her book. Larissa
Listen to
tells her
me.
instructor curtly that she doesn't need a mother figure or therapy when Marilyn supports
Not to
her
mention
insistence
putting
on
your
smothering
pig.
Wednesday.
I think
After Enid calls Wednesday, they look into a bedroom that seems immaculate and well kept.
You vowed to protect no
There are
less.
fresh flowers and the bed is prepared. Wednesday discovers a music box bearing the initials LG. Laurel Gates. Walker
no
looked
need.
over a file with that name before.
Tonight was
They
just the
hear the
icing-
Hyde monster prowling about the
Now I'm
home
one
all of a
starred
sudden.
to be your friend.
Tyler bellows.
didn't have to, because
Wednesday
that's what
hides in a
friends
dumbwaiter
do.
with Enid. The monster paws at the dumbwaiter's door. Unfortunately, the rope breaks and our dynamic couple falls into the basement while two humans are inside an elevator intended for food. Wednesday discovers jars
intimidated,
filled with human
and I will
parts and
never-
chopping instruments there.
The
The
monster
beast can be
close to
heard
the truth.
stumbling down the steps. Wednesday discovers that body pieces belong to the murderer's victims before Enid and Wednesday flee. Wednesday then sees Enid packing her luggage for a few days of visiting
You
Yoko.
vowed to protect no less.
She's had enough of always trying to maintain their connection and risking her life by going into situations like the Gates Mansion catastrophe. Enid
no
charges outside. Wednesday muses
Tonight
over
was
her
just the
deeds
icing-
after Enid departs.
Now I'm
She
one
doesn't
starred
normally
to be your
mind being
friend.
alone, but right
Didn't
now
have
she
to,
feels
because
awful.
That's what friends do.
Is this character growth? Perhaps. She looks at the mansion's music box. Out of nowhere, a rush of pictures emerges from the bottom. They are all of Wednesday's family members. In the hospital,
Be
we witness
intimidated.
someone unplugging
And I will
Walker's
never-
ventilator while he is
The
unconscious and
monster
wearing
close
gloves.
to the truth.
This must be the same individual that attempted to murder him. Wednesday swears to uncover the person responsible for all of this.
Mayor Walker was murdered, and I know the killer. I know I'm close to. Final gambit has yet to be played.
I didn't. Your dad got all on. Monsters, birds.
This belongs to a friend. They're hibernating. They're practically you.
When you give me that. That's where I got my first lobotomy. And a penchant for necrophilia. No idea. Before this dorm room, let's just say I was a nifty little safe.
As a twisted fiction in her bedroom. Why do they have fun become a lonely pursuit?
Sorry, I figured you were still at her crew. This is the third time in 20.
You definitely had some annoying habits.
You overcommit to clubs and activities in the ways to endanger literally everybody.
Your excuse for creeping around in the middle of the night. Like, what do I get in return? Just nothing but...
Drawing obsession.
You secret.
You think I would hurt you?
Wednesday's 7th episode opens with the mayor's burial. Wednesday follows someone into the woods after spotting him observing the funeral procession from a distance. Fester, her uncle, turns out to be the mystery individual. After a run-in with the cops, he is in town to hide out. He heads inside the school's bee house on Wednesday to wait out the storm. Her uncle gives her the monster's name and offers to assist her with the investigation. We refer to the creature as a hide. He informs her of an old journal kept in the nightshades' hidden chamber. The journal belongs to a man called Faulkner, who documented the marginalized group while traveling the globe. Enid goes to the room after the funeral to get some items she left behind, but she is attempting to check in on Wednesday. Sadly, they have another dispute, and she departs furious once again. Wednesday discovers Xavier when she goes to the hidden nightshades chamber later that evening. He believes she is treating him unfairly, so they argue. He informs her that her ignorance about the identities of her true pals is the root of her dilemma. Despite his unwavering support and ability to save her life, she continues to see him with distrust. She asks him why he continues coming up minutes after the monster attacks. He insists he has never seen the creature, but she shows him his sketches. Given that she believes he is the monster, he questions her about why she believes he has not murdered her. She responds that it's probably because he enjoys her. Uncle Fester hands her the journal after Xavier departs. As she travels with the journal, she discovers that hides are naturally talented people who have undergone mutation. Most of the time, their monster sides lie latent until they are triggered by a stressful situation, a drug, or hypnosis. She asks him why he continues coming up minutes after the monster attacks. He insists he has never seen the creature, but she shows him his sketches. Given that she believes he is the monster, he questions her about why she believes he has not murdered her. She responds that it's probably because he enjoys her. Uncle Fester hands her the journal after Xavier departs. As she travels with the journal, she discovers that hides are naturally talented people who have undergone mutation. Most of the time, their monster sides lie latent until they are triggered by a stressful situation, a drug, or hypnosis. When she goes to the cafe, she shows Tyler the diary. When his father notices them, he decides to ignore him since he is too preoccupied looking for Fester, who is suspected of taking part in a bank heist. Tyler asks Wednesday out on a date after the sheriff departs and won't accept no. They arrange to meet at the Craxton's tomb because he knows the school is under lockdown and he vows to come see her.
Job is to guard that diary while I'm gone. Are you serious?
No one's ever taken you on a picnic inside a crypt before?
Down by the lake.
Thanks. It's not gonna work. Probably. Tyler. Dead?
I'm not gonna.
Who did this to you? Only painful. I'll stitch it.
All right.
It'll give him a call.
That's supposed to be safely locked. Thank you, Miss Thornhill.
It's
On his research, but the hides were too unpredictable. Because then, Nevermore is...
Gaslight and obstruct me.
Come with me.
Printed these off my dad's computer.
Apparently the Gates mansion was purchased a year ago.
Old house, and then comes back to Jericho. How exactly does the monster fit into all of this?
We don't have an appointment scheduled for today.
I know you're Laurel Gates. You've come back.
She asks Thing to stay back and guard the diary before heading out for the date. Wednesday finds herself having a lovely and romantic date in the crypt, which Tyler planned. She attempts to convince Tyler out of asking her to be more than just friends. The cops break up their date in an attempt to find Fester just as they are ready to kiss for the first time. When Wednesday gets back to her room, Thing has been stabbed and the journal has vanished. She whisks him off to Fester's hiding spot so that he can be revived. After many efforts at resuscitation, thankfully, he survives. Wednesday swears to get revenge on the aggressor. The next day, as the police are drawing near, she requests that Fester vacate the school grounds. She attempts to convince Tyler out of asking her to be more than just friends. The cops break up their date in an attempt to find Fester just as they are ready to kiss for the first time. When Wednesday gets back to her room, Thing has been stabbed and the journal has vanished. She whisks him off to Fester's hiding spot so that he can be revived. After many efforts at resuscitation, thankfully, he survives. Wednesday swears to get revenge on the aggressor. The next day, as the police are drawing near, she requests that Fester vacate the school grounds. Wednesday makes the decision to go see and face Dr. Canbot, whom she believes to be the master of the hide. Her claims confound the therapist, who believes Wednesday has finally lost it. Dr. Canbot phones the principal after Wednesday leaves, voicing his displeasure with Wednesday's actions. In the middle of their chat, the monster attacks her, killing her. Wednesday makes the decision to terminate everything, so she meets Xavier in his covert art studio. He is taken into custody when she places the evidence she has been gathering in his studio. No one believes Xavier when he tells the police over and over that he is being set up. Everyone believes that the case is over. Wednesday and Enid reconcile later that evening, and she goes back to their former room. They chat about their date on Wednesday, and Enid offers she go see him at the cafe. Wednesday believes that Tyler's late night duty is a terrific idea. Wednesday tells Tyler in the cafe that she had to rethink things, like who she could trust, after what happened with Xavier. When they do kiss, Wednesday sees Tyler as the monster that kills Dr. Canbot. She bolts from the cafe, terrified to the point of paralysis, leaving Tyler perplexed as to what went wrong.
Ironic would have been framing Xavier for murder. Why'd you kill her? I thought you overheard Eugene and me discussing your case that night at the Gates mansion.
Me alone.
You said I was alone.
Lee?
Screams.
What's with the chains?
By my own mother hogging this photo. I would. Technically, Thing did. He took Finn's red. Never really quite sure whether or not she.
Sure.
You are. I saw it in a video.
Wednesday? Hold on. Wait. No.
Wait.
No, I'm done.
No, don't leave me here with her, please.
Would I press him on his mother or any sense?
And her name is...
Yes, which is a miracle given the circ.
We've got evidence thanks to you, and that's why I'm...
Wednesday.
Ask a question. You know, everything.
Is your immediate expulsion. I'd hope not.
You do realize that Tyler
Framed Xavier. He confessed everything.
She identified as.
Well, then give me more.
used me to frame you. He is the... But since you seem to have some sort of psychic connection...
No. Wednesday meets Tyler in the woods at the beginning of episode 8, and she confronts him about being the Hyde. He refutes the accusations with promptitude. If Wednesday truly believed he was the Hyde, he questions why she would approach him by herself in the woods. Wednesday responds that she didn't come by herself and that she's brought a few sirens with her. Bianca then uses her abilities to put him to sleep. They lead him to Xavier's art studio, where they shackle him to the chair. Wednesday begins questioning him. It turns out that Tyler's mother was HDE, and she believes that Tyler inherited her genes. Tyler begs to be understood. He is not a monster just because he is the son of an outcast. Wednesday turns it up to some light torture, unmoved by his false cries. Since the sirens were not assigned to respond to reports of torture, they left the victim alone and reported her to the principal. The sheriff, who was listening to Dr. Canbot evaluate Tyler during their therapy session, gets a call from the principal. The therapist was extremely worried about Tyler's psychological anguish following the loss of his mother prior to her passing. After hearing the call, he hurries to rescue Tyler from the determined clutches of Wednesday. The sheriff issues a warning to Wednesday not to pursue the case any further but declines to file charges. Tyler requests a quiet conversation with Wednesday as she prepares to leave the police station. He calls her out for her mistake and admits to the crime. He tells her that he enjoyed killing people since it made him afraid. She has no idea what's about to happen, he warns her. The principal thinks enough is enough and expels Wednesday and instructs her to be ready to depart the school the next day. Wednesday makes an effort to persuade her to provide her additional time to demonstrate Tyler's Hyde status. Refusing, the principal expresses her disappointment with the way things turned out. In a desperate manner, Wednesday pays Xavier a prison visit. He's not exactly thrilled to learn that Wednesday was kissing Tyler while he was languishing in a jail, bound by chains. Wednesday begs for his assistance, telling him that she is aware that Tyler is the Hyde. He informs her that leaving the town is the only option and declines to assist her. All she has ever done, he tells her, is make life difficult for everyone she meets. Wednesday gets ready to depart and packs her things the following morning. She bids Enid go in a melancholy way. Concerned about what is going on, Eugene watches the video call as Thing runs to Eden for assistance and tells her about the issue. Ms. Thornbill discloses her scheme to destroy the school in the crypt. She intends to use the body parts Tyler stole from his victims to bring Craxton back. Craxton was not only killed by Goody, but his soul was also cursed. On Wednesday, Ms. Thornbill intends to remove the bloodlock that Goody had placed Craxton within the tomb. Since Wednesday is the surviving descendant of Goody, Wednesday holds the key to unlocking it. Everything is set in motion for Ms. Thornbill since the ceremony must be performed on a night with a blood moon. She confronts her after returning to the school. Tyler told her everything. Wednesday informs her. Principal Larissa, who has transformed into Tyler, is brought in by her.
Tyler, I have to admit, that shade, we have roots that go all the way back to ancestor Goody Adams. Throughout the throne. Tyler, your ancestor Goody Adams, the soul too. Goody sealed Crackstone in. I bided my tongue.
Santiago, what's up?
Every damn one of them.
Miaque Neptis. Resurge. I have summoned you.
Now, but.
Blackstone's correct.
We have to get.
We'll use our siren song to convince him.
Vision impaired? I'm dying.
Me again.
Oh, you're tracking your little.
On us real quickly.
I'm feeling much better now.
What it means for my family.
When Wednesday presents the little information, Ms. Thornbill admits her guilt and begs Tyler to murder Wednesday. Larissa changes back after hearing the confession and requests cooperation from Ms. Thornbill, Laurel. She restates her point by injecting Principal Larissa with a nightshade poisoning injection and striking Wednesday with a sharp object. She ties Wednesday up after escorting her to Craxton's crypt. Meanwhile, one of the sheriff's offices calls to inform the sheriff that Eugene's parents think something is up at Nevermore. All of the policemen, automobile ties are cut, so they are unable to arrive at the school in time. While Xavier was being transported to prison, the sheriff made the decision to visit the school. As Ms. Thornhill begins her ritual, Craxton awakens and swears that his retribution will be real and quick. When Wednesday tries to confront him, they leave her for dead after he stabs her. She is confronted by Goody, who gives her advice on how to beat Craxton. Use the talisman necklace her mother gave her, she instructs her. Wednesday will be able to heal herself thanks to the talisman, but Goody won't be able to see her again. Wednesday consents, and Goody heals her. The Sirens agree to utilize their abilities to evacuate the school when Enid calls for the nightshades to be activated. Enid is going to start acting strangely as she runs to save Wednesday. Wednesday hurries to stop Craxton after recovering, but she runs into Tyler. Enid comes in her wolf form and engages the monster in combat as he changes and begins assaulting her. However, the sheriff has a change of heart and chooses to find out where Tyler is. He drives off, locking Xavier inside his car, but Thing frees him and they go into the woods. He sees the wolf and monster engage in combat. After hurting Tyler during the fight, he changes back into human form and shoots Tyler when he is in his monster form. Wednesday and Craxton get into a furious altercation at school in the meanwhile. Xavier and Bianca attempt to assist her, but Craxton is too powerful. Wednesday stabs Craxton in the heart after recalling what Goody warned her about beating him. The struggle continues after he vanishes into thin air because Ms. Thornhill charges in with a pistol. They are able to save the school with Eugene's assistance as he lets his bees assault her. Wednesday finishes her manuscript, and she and Enid pay their respects by going to the principal's office. They respect that she gave her life in order to protect the school, and they admit that they will miss her. Wednesday receives an invitation from Enid to join her in San Francisco, and classes for the remainder of the semester are cancelled. Wednesday seems to be warming up to Bianca as she praises her for her assistance. Wednesday makes amends with Xavier throughout their conversation. He offers her a phone and asks her to SMS him someday. She doesn't respond when he asks whether she plans to return the following semester. She gets a message on her phone while driving home from someone she doesn't know who is following her. She describes how some loose ends are still undone as she approaches the vehicle carrying Tyler. Tyler turns into a monster while traveling towards the conclusion of the season.